Smashing Times are partnering with Rathfarnham Castle and Dublin Castle to celebrate and remember women's stories of history and today. Smashing Times have curated a collection of women's stories, and these stories have been used to inspire the creation of films, plays, online digital art exhibitions, theatre workshop models, e-books, newsletters and blogs.
I move between the darkness and the light where the haunted hour stands still.
We hope you will share and enjoy these resources as much as we do.
Smashing Times were delighted to present a performance of The Woman is Present, Women's Stories of World War II in Rathfarnham Castle.
Rathfarnham Castle dates back to 1583. It's a fortified house and it was built for Adam Loftus, who was Lord Chancellor of Ireland and Archbishop of Dublin, and he built it as his family home. And really it would have been not only to house his very large family of 20 children, but also a sign of his prestige and power. At the time the castle was built, this would have been countryside. The castle was white in the 16th century, as it is today, so it would have stood out on the landscape. And it also would have seemed taller than it is today because the ground has risen around the castle. So it was a mark of his importance and prestige in this area. One of the most important figures associated with the castle is the 18th century artist Angelica Kauffmann. Kauffmann was a Swiss artist, and she was a child prodigy. She was equally gifted at music as at art, but she followed the art track because her father was an artist, and in the late 18th century she was one of the most prestigious artists in Europe. She was a portrait artist, but she also painted history paintings and mythology and decorative paintings for houses, and she spent some months in Ireland in the 18th century, invited by the Lord Lieutenant, and she would have stayed in some of the great houses of Ireland carrying out commissions, and it is said that she stayed here in Rathfarnham Castle. And she painted a portrait of Henry Loftus, who was the Earl of Ely and owner of the castle at the time. She also painted a family portrait for him, which is in the National Gallery. Angelica Kauffmann was enormously famous and prestigious and gifted. If you were to think of an equivalent artist today, you would probably be saying somebody like Tracey Emin. She was a superstar and very, very well known. So the fact that she stayed here in this castle and painted people who lived here is quite remarkable.
In the play, The Woman is Present, Women's Stories of World War II, which we performed at Rathfarnham Castle, one of the stories we tell is that of Mary Elmes. Mary was a Cork woman known as righteous among nations for her work saving Jewish children from the Nazi gas chambers.
I am Mary Elmes. I am known as Miss Mary. Spain. We traipse across the barren mountain. Our party of 5 and 12 among thousands. 12 tiny pairs of feet exposed to the harsh, unforgiving elements. The spiked terrain scattered with specks of bodies moving. Waves of silent masses. Tomorrow, we walk again, and the day after, thousands of us walking. Behind us, bombs and bullets. Before us, uncertainty. The crackles of dotted fires at night, a welcome relief from the cold and dark. I rub her frozen feet by the flames, this child of 7. She makes no sound, but her eyes are my motivation. A power inside like an engine driving me forward. France, men in uniform, barbed wire barricades us between sea and land. Soldiers throw bread over the wire, we scramble for a crust. At night, children dig holes in the sand to sleep in. Each day we are more and more. We huddle together like human refuge washed up. Despair. We are moved to a concentration camp where they detain the Spanish refugees. My Irish passport sets me free, but my conscience holds me there. those interned at River Salt Camp are joined by Jewish families as the huge Nazi eagle casts its shadow. Fear. The death train is coming. No time to ponder. I must act quickly. I must save the children. The rhythmic sounds mimic the intensity of a grieving mother's heart. I promise I will do all I can. I can only promise. A last loving embrace as the child is given to me in trust. Freed from the next vessel to hell. I take the jewel, the fruit of her womb, and feel her eyes on my back. A mother's broken spirit. She will see her child no more. The little girl's tears soak through my clothes, sharp, silent sobs. She is only 7. We journey long into the night. 3 small bodies huddled under a blanket in the boot of my car. They must not speak. I must keep my promise. For now, they are safe.
At Summer's End by Phelim James tells the story of Etty Steinberg, a young woman who grew up in Dublin and was murdered along with her family, her husband and young son Leon, in the Nazi gas chambers in Auschwitz.
We were in a hotel in Toulouse, a hotel that occasionally hid some Jews. I had just fallen asleep when I heard them. Heavy boots in the corridor, their shouts. I whispered to Wojciech. We woke Leon. Still, I remember covering his crying mouth, the vibrations. Wojciech examined the window for a possible escape. Then came the knock. 4 hard, regular raps at the wooden door. I looked at Wojciech, and it was as if he was going to say something. Oh, how tired he looked. But the fear was there in his eyes, as strong as sunlight. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Why do we remember women's stories in history? Remembering and recognising the struggles, dreams, dignity, successes and achievements of women in the past plays a vital role in giving us strength and inspiration today. Remembering these stories and having a balanced and inclusive history recognises how important women have always been in society and acts as a catalyst for promoting women as influential sources today.